Hey everyone, Mark MCS1 here. It's been nearly 3 years exactly since I've put out an episode. And today, I'm putting out an old interview, and I'll get to that in a little bit and talk more about that. I don't really plan on releasing much more content after this, at least for the MCS1 show. If I am putting out something in the future, which it's looking slightly like I might be, I'll put an announcement on an announcement episode on here so that you can follow that. I've seen just from my analytics that there's still a lot of people that are listening to old episodes and are still sub to the show, which is crazy to think about because the show ended nearly 3 years ago. And I haven't put anything out in a long time. And it's been kind of like a really odd process with the way the show ended, when it was ending. And then afterwards, I thought about coming back and continuing with it. But for now, I've decided to still have it kind of just stay on the shelf and let it keep its own little legacy, as odd as that sounds. Um, so, little bit of, I guess, heads up or questions that I'm sure some people have. I guess the first one was probably, um, I guess, what's Caleb up to? And so Caleb's doing well. We one day dream of running away to the country and starting a really shitty Airbnb that has no Wi Fi. Yeah, a really terrible bed and breakfast. Nah, I'm kidding. Caleb's doing well. He's doing awesome. We talk nearly every day. It's kind of odd when we don't talk, actually. We talk about the show, lots of other stuff. We're planning on going to Boston next year, just as like a little trip thing that we both want to do. So that's kind of cool and exciting. I'm doing extremely well. I missed the show, but I kind of don't miss some things surrounding the show. It was fun, it was a good run, but I think I'm ready to move on to other projects, or I've already moved on to other projects. If I am starting another podcast project or something similar, which I'm starting to lean in that direction as of lately, I definitely, like I said, will leave an episode here pointing you in that direction. But I want to take this time right now, which is, I'm going to admit, this is very raw and not very formatted with the way that I normally do things with the show. Like right now, I'm using my built in microphone on my MacBook Pro. I'm not going through, I'm not editing this intensely or adding filters like I normally do. It's definitely not up to the MCS1 show par quality, but that's okay. Podcaster can do that. So, I kind of wanted to talk today about something really interesting and kind of dear to my heart. And it's a little odd, but very interesting. So, the day today is November 21st and 2022. And a couple of days ago, for those of you that don't know, or probably do know, David Jason Frank, who originally was the original Green Ranger from Power Rangers and White Ranger from Power Rangers, passed away. I'm not going to cover the details around his death. That's not really my forte. And also, it's just not really something I do on the show. I mean, if it was Vid Angel, like I would investigate the shit out of this. But it's not Vid Angel. It's someone's death, and that's kind of personal and a line I don't want to really cross. But one thing I would like to mention is in the very early days of the MCS1 show, like when I was just getting started out and I was just barely like launched the podcast. I think it was maybe my first actual press pass that I had gotten to Comic Con, which was amazing. It was Salt Lake City's Comic Con, I think FanX, which they now call it just FanX, Fan Experience, because they got sued by Comic Con, and this is how they settled out of court and all of that stuff. Not here to discuss that. Not here to discuss Utah stuff. But anyway, Jason David Frank was one of the guests, and I was able to interview him. And it was like my first time like interviewing a celebrity, and I was so nervous, even as a as someone who had been doing podcasting and doing interviews for quite a while. It was still like kind of odd just talking to him, and he was like a super cool, chill dude. And if you go to the MCS1show.com, I've uploaded like a couple photos of us. But like one thing I will mention, it's like during the opening ceremonies section, he was like on stage just like texting like the whole time. And it was kind of hilarious. And so I asked him afterwards to like take a couple pictures, and we took one. I requested him to just text on his phone and act like he wasn't paying attention to me, and we took that shot, and the picture's on the website for this episode. Link in the show notes. So it was pretty cool, and he was just a really cool dude, very genuine, very friendly, and I referred to him in the interview as the King of Comic Con. And I used to have this video of this interview on YouTube, but a couple years ago, I basically severed ties with Google and all social media, except for LinkedIn. Unfortunately, I still have LinkedIn, and I fucking hate it. But at the same time, it has actually provided me some decent job opportunities. Another discussion for another time. But the interview was taken down off YouTube when I did my annual Google purge a while back. But I still have, like, I keep records of nearly everything, like tons of files. And I still have the interview that I did within the video interview. And I will try to upload that to the website. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put the audio for it at the very end of this episode. And it's kind of, I'm not going to lie, it's pretty cringe because it was a long time ago. I think 7 to 8 years. And I was so new, and he was just a chill dude. It was pretty cool. Nice guy, but even for like a D-list podcaster like myself, it's pretty raw. So please forgive it and my shortcomings from nearly a decade ago. But I did want to basically paste in that interview. I felt like with his passing, this kind of, it doesn't really do him justice for how great of a dude he was and how awesome he is. And it's interesting to see the stories that have resurfaced online, one of which I thought was really cool. Someone was waiting in line for autographs from him at Comic-Con. Then they saw how much they were, and then they waited in line forever, and they saw how much they were, and they're like, I can't afford this shit. And they walked away. And then Jason David Frank noticed him in the hallway later and was like, hey, I saw you standing in line. You know, what happened? And he explained to him. So he gave him like a bunch of free pictures with them as well, which I thought was like pretty cool and a very kind thing to do. And yeah, so anyway, here's the early interview that I had with the late Jason David Frank. May he rest in peace. And yeah.
So I'm Mark Smith from the MCS1 show, and I'm here with Jason David Frang.
Yep, how you doing, man?
I am wonderful. I'm excited to meet you. So I saw you here last year at Comic-Con or FanX. I can't remember which one. And I was like, man, this guy is the king of Comic-Con.
Well,
So
I appreciate that, man.
Have you done
King of Comic-Con.
King of Comic-Con, like the way
I
you
like
got
it.
up there on stage
Yeah.
and your presence and everything, it was just amazing, well handled,
Thank you.
very professional.
Thank you, man.
And cool.
I'll tell you what, I didn't feel too good last show because I had altitude sickness, and I'm on fire this show. So it's on now. It's really on. This show's really on.
Yeah, so I'm real excited. So are you here all 3 days?
Yes, I'm here all 3 days.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And do you get to Salt Lake often?
No. Well, we drove through Salt Lake to jump the bridge in Ohio, but I was here only one time. We like it. It's fun. You know, the wind tunnels are not too far from us, and so it was a lot of fun. We got friends here and all that stuff.
Cool. Where are you currently located and living?
Houston, Texas is
Houston.
where we're currently located.
Right on. That's cool.
My wife said it was a really good town and it's just hot over there. She lied.
She lied.
She lied.
Oh,
It's terrible. No, I'm just kidding.
I heard the weather there is amazing, but
Yeah.
I love the humidity.
Yeah. Oh God, not me, dude.
So yeah,
Oh,
you're probably
man.
loving this right now.
Yeah.
So you come to I've seen you on Facebook with a ton of my friends.
Yeah.
Getting their pictures taken. You're like their childhood hero.
Oh, thank you.
Kind of thing, and
Yeah.
I just thought it was just awesome. Do you get a lot of that response from people when you're at Comic-Con? They're like, they come up to you and they're like, "You're my childhood hero. I love the Green Ranger. I love the White Ranger."
Yeah, I do, man. It's a special thing because, you know, every kid seems to grow up with Power Rangers, but they're all older now. And Power Rangers had a great story at the time. It was like a soap opera, you know.
Yeah, I remember watching it
Yeah.
myself, and I was like, "Man, this is awesome."
Yep.
I thought it was so cool.
It's good. Johnny Young Bosch will be here. He's probably here in a little bit. We're filming the last episode of My Morphin Life right now, and it's going to be good, man. So we have a panel today from 5 to 6.
Okay.
We have a Q&A today from 5 to 6, so it should be a good one.
All right. So just kind of a personal question: do you still kick it with the other Power Rangers cast at all? Hang out with them much?
Yeah, I do. There's a few cast members I haven't talked to. So, you know, I
Okay.
think people see TV and they all think we live in Angel Grove. And in Angel Grove, everything's great and nothing happens, but it's not true. Like, at least I'm the one to stand up and say, well, it's not Angel Grove all the time, you know? But there's people that I haven't talked to. And there's people that I've been close to over the years, you know? And it's good, though, because the people I've been close to over the years have been true to the fans, and they know who they are, and they don't just pop out of the woodworks and say, well, I'm a Power Ranger now. The people that's been with me has been supporting the role for years and years and years before this whole reboot happened.
Okay.
Once the reboot happened, everybody wants to, hey, me, look at me, I'll show, you know. It's
The
just
bandwagon
it's
kinda
kinda
thing.
like, you know, where were you 5 years ago? Where were you 10 years ago, you know? I was doing
Understood.
Dino Thunder 10 years ago. I was the only one to come back to try to help the franchise.
What
know.
So aside from Power Rangers,
Yeah.
I know you've done a little bit of MMA.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So what other current projects are you working on right now that you'd like to, put in a plug for?
Well, we're obviously doing My Morphin Life. I've been filming with Tammy and my little girl, and we're on to season 1. And we did season 1 for a fun YouTube thing, but we ended up selling season 2 to a network called Con TV.
Okay.
And that's going to be coming out. We're filming episode 12 right now. And then I did a project with Aaron from Bat in the Sun called Taze Cadden Operation Black Unicorn, which is a special ops movie. Morrison's in there with the wrestler, and Jason Font's in there, and it's just a kick butt movie, nonstop action, one of the best I've done, and one of the best fight scenes. So it's going to be really exciting. We're going to reveal that in October.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Before we go, do you just want to let everyone know what your social media is? That way they can
Yep.
follow your adventures and everything?
Yep. Very active on social media. You can go to Facebook at Jason David Frank official fan page, Instagram and Twitter, JDF FFN. That's right, 3 Fs, JDF FFN.
All right, well, thank you very much. It was
Thank
a
you,
pleasure meeting you.
Nice to meet you too, buddy.